She almost drives me crazy. She knows how to love me, yes indeed. Why you don't know what she do to me, to the truth.
Okay, we're on Friday, and the countdown is 6. It will be 5, 5, 5, 5, and then it will be 0, 0, 0. Now next week is the downslide week. So, yeah, thank you for having vacation time available. Funny how it worked out. And I might exit stage left. It's quite a possibility here. Because I don't like it here. And then when I actually turn in the paperwork, guess what? I can go down to the office there and harass them for paperwork. See, Stinger had it all wrong. He got mad at them the wrong way. He should have just understood the best way to harass these people is to try to get information from them. Okay? Freedom of information request is the way to beat TriMet. I figured it out, everybody. This is what we do. We're gonna go down there. I'm gonna ask for so much paperwork that head's gonna be spent. And we're gonna publish it all on my famous blog. There's a lot of, you know, I haven't got an answer from my pension request. They're in the ignore mode. They're in the ignore mode again. Okay, we'll ignore them, it'll go away. No, I'm not gonna go away. I'm very patient now, you know. But I understand, good authority has it that I'm not the only one looking at the pension reports. There's other people of higher visibility than me that have taken on the pension questions. And that's good. Of course, they'll always have an anti-union slant, but I want to see those pension folks. And I need an updated list of all management employees. You know, we need to see all of them. I mean, I need to get an organizational. They don't have. Excuse me. They don't have an organizational chart of. They have the main chart of all the directors, but then they don't have the smaller charts available. I can't find them anyway. And not even my chief researcher, Jason McHuff, can find them. But when I'm off, and I got Jason to be able to direct him more closely, we'll see what we can come up with, folks. You know, it's funny, I'm not actually mad at any particular person at TriMet. I'm really not. I mean, when you deal with them individually, they're very nice people. But I'm mad as hell at the organizational structure, boy. And the way the institution operates. I'm very, very much angry with the institutional aspects of TriMet. There goes Steve. Right in front of us, folks. Gonna miss seeing Steve. He's been fun to hang out with for the last 6 months. But I have one more week to go, and this will be a good week next week, hopefully. And then I'm off for at least a while, and I'll give my serious consideration to whether I want to just forget it. Shit, you know, I can get some money out of this deal and not have to do anything. There was this great article, it was written by somebody who talked about the pension predicament, and the reason they had the 58-year retirement was for people that became ill and couldn't work anymore. It was a very humane setup for employees, but as goes Europe, so goes America. And the Daily Bell, a conservative publication, did a great article about the destruction of the social safety net and the drive for a one world government. And we'll see if it works out the way they want it to. So far, they've gotten pretty much what they wanted in Europe. I mean, Iceland didn't cooperate. They just kicked the bankers out, and now everything's... But Greece, they just rolled over. I was surprised at the Greeks. I thought that they would have a little bit more fight in them. But they didn't. And the Irish, they didn't have any fight in them. They just accepted it. And then I don't think the Spanish are accepting it so great. It didn't look like the Italians were so happy with all of this austerity baloney. See, there is no financial crisis. That's what people have to get through their heads. It doesn't exist. It was a consolidation of wealth by the elites. There is no financial crisis. It's a lie. It's created. You see, all of this stuff is created. There's no free market. It's manipulation. It's absolutely the truth. I mean, people that don't understand that, I feel for you. You don't see what's happening around you here. Because by the time you wake up, it will be too late. I mean, there's a few of us that are fighting hard, like me, trying to outdo the media. I'm one guy and I'm a lonely man in a room, okay, and I'm fighting some powerful forces here, and I can't do it. Now, I heard McFarland was at the City Club getting a standing ovation with his anti-union remarks. I can't wait to see the video when the City Club puts it up. That should be interesting. Yeah, McFarland has become a hero of the John Charles population. And, you know, I also call Portland Transport and John Charles. They're together on this. It's all about the union. And they don't look at things like the so-called debt service funding. The debt service is interest payments they're paying on debt. That's $34 million a year, which is higher than our health care costs. But that's an acceptable cost, apparently. See, as long as it's going to banking elites, the payments are acceptable, but if it goes to actual people, that's not acceptable. And when I heard, when the GM, remember the GM and the auto workers, the first thing they did was blame it on the unions. It's the unions that created the bankruptcy. Well, let me tell you something. Germany, you know, that country in Western Europe, has a very strong labor movement, very generous pay, and they are dominating Europe right now in terms of economic strength. So it does work, it can work. It's just when a certain global elite is able to control the message, and you have enough downtrodden people who will allow themselves to fall into the trap of envy, because they don't have it, nobody should have it. It was kind of like the fight we had here over mini runners getting family health insurance. Now, even right here in TriMet itself is a microcosm of the stupidity of the American population. The full-timers actually voted no on allowing mini runners, also known as part-time employees, to be able to have family health insurance. I still don't understand why that was a vote. But they voted no, and their attitude was, well, since we didn't get that when we were part-time, why should they? And as long as you have this sort of thinking permeating the world, we're stuck. And when I heard the GM workers getting attacked, I immediately knew it was baloney. I immediately knew that they were making this shit up. They were seizing this opportunity to try to discredit unionism and blame it on the citizens. It's all our fault that TriMet can't provide service. And, you know, and all the fucking business people are all happy to clap because that means more money in their fucking scum pockets. Okay? This Milwaukee Light Rail project, they boast about all of this money. Well, it's all going to elitists and their companies. It's a fraud. They boast about creating all these jobs. It's a fraud. It's more lies from the TriMet propaganda machine. You know, and they are very sophisticated at lying. This is what they do best. Michael Levine said it right to the board, you know. You can't believe anything Neil McFarland says, and you can't. You can't. You absolutely can't believe anything that Neil McFarland says. He is a bona fide liar. We've seen it over and over and over. It's just texting and driving. See, now, talking on your phone and driving is one thing, but texting and driving is a whole whole other thing. Because at least you were looking at the road when you're talking and driving. I mean, McFarland, look at the treatment that John Hunt gets when he is at the board meeting. They just stick him in with all the other people. That is completely disrespectful, okay? There's no level of respect in that whatsoever. And that's intentional. They've sidelined him intentionally. This has been an intentional move to show show Hunt who's the boss. We're the boss. We don't have to talk to you. This has been their attitude right along here at this company. Okay, we're the boss. You do it our way or the fucking highway, and that's the way it's going to be. And some of us are not just going to roll over for that, me included. I'm not going to roll over for your bullshit. It's just like when they had me in the office there about that Max video, and they said, look, this is like a drug dealer. Either you give up the people that you gave the video to, or you take the rap. I said, well then I'll take the fucking rap. Just fire me. Get it over with, man. I don't care. Does it look like I care anymore about whether you fire me or not? I don't. I could walk out the door today and I'll be alright. At least until you go bankrupt. And then you cut off my pension while Fred sucks down $15,700 a month. Jesus. You know, the top pension for a TriMet driver after about 30 years would be somewhere in the area of $2,200, $2,300. So I figured, okay, the top pension after a 30-year driver would be $2,300, and I would think Fred would probably qualify for double that, or maybe at the most triple that, $6,000 at the most, given the way things are. I don't think he was worth any of it, but the way that things are in the world now, that's what and then when I got the figure back at $15,000, I couldn't believe it. How outrageous. You see, over there at Scott Johnson can whine about our benefits. They never say anything about the debt service. $30 million, $34 million a year just to pay debt. That's okay, huh? It's okay. It's okay to defend the banks. And all these, not a word about Fred's pension anywhere. Not one person in the mainstream, not one place picked it up. Of course not, because it would make management look bad, and they don't want to do that. We're fighting a war which is stacked. We have a stacked deck, folks, but luckily there's a few of us out here that have a little intelligence and know how to fight back in our own little ways. And that's what I've been doing. And even though the blog is fairly obscure in nature, it gets a lot of views over time. And even if one person sees a post, that person could disseminate that information to 5 people, and those 5 people disseminate it. You see how it trickles down. So the fact that the information is out there is what's important. And that's the whole beauty of the internet they call it the internet reformation, because it's on the level of the Gutenberg printing press. Say we didn't have internet communication right now. All we would have is TriMet. All we would have is the TriMet propaganda department to listen to, and the corporate media. And they don't give you anything. They don't provide us with any real news. They provide us with, here, we'll give you back the exact press release that TriMet handed us. We don't want to ask any questions. Does anybody cover anything at the board? No. They don't cover the other angles of the story. And I said it yesterday. If it wasn't for me, there would be no coverage in the mainstream. Nobody would see these disabled people. I mean, I think it's significant to watch that. Because if you're not affected by... There's Steve Morgan. See him? Right on time, Steve. Just like me. Now that's a reliable bus driver over there, boy. Here he comes. Look at him go. I wonder if he, last time I got in a room with him, he was actually talked to me. Maybe he's not so mad at me. Boy, he was mad at me. You should have seen the letter he sent me. Woo! We were friends for a long time, but then the secret recording happened, and that pissed him off. Anyway, where was I? Now I'm detracted again. Yes, if it wasn't for me, nobody would see those disabled people, and I get affected by watching that. I mean, it actually is. When you see some of those people pleading their case, how can you not be affected by it? I mean, geez, you know, the most vulnerable of the vulnerable can't keep what they got. I know it's expensive and all that, but is there anything left in our culture that isn't valued on dollars and cents? It's like, this is a worthwhile thing to keep going, because it connects a very vulnerable population with the world. And if they don't have that, then there's no way for them to connect. And maybe 30 cents doesn't seem like a lot to me and you, because we're making big money, although I'm not making big money, but most bus drivers, everybody that works at TriMet makes out like a bandit. And I do agree. You know, it's not like I'm completely unsympathetic to the anti-union point of view. I do understand the point of view. But what I don't understand, and what they just won't get through their head, is McFarland is not trying to negotiate. He just wants to bust, and that doesn't wash in my book, okay? I don't, whoa, the traffic. I don't buy that shit, you know? Homie don't play that, as I say. Oh, damn. Well, I got plenty of time. You know, if they want to pull a Scott Walker, which is what they want to pull, by the way, that's what they're trying to do here. They're trying to pull a Scott Walker on us. And it's not pretty. You know, he comes right out and says he wants us to strike, so we should strike. Give it to him. If that's what he wants to do, then give it to him. I mean, fuck, let's walk off the damn job. He says he wants to strike, we'll give him a strike. This is his doing. We put it on his lap. We don't want to hurt the citizens. McFarland wants to hurt the citizens here, not us. Okay, it's not the drivers. This is McFarland, because he can't have his way like a little spoiled child. He can't follow his own rules that were set up by his own managers. He wants a strike, so give him a strike. I'm all for it. Of course, everybody would have to participate in order to keep us all. You know, let them lock us out. Who cares? Of course, you know, I don't have any family to feed or nothing. I've always been a rebel. I don't, you know, I've been on my own many times in my life. This is the first time I've had a job that's lasted more than a couple of years. I've fend for myself. I've owned my own businesses. I've been able to hang out on my own. So I'm not scared of the instability. And I think that if McFarland wants to strike, we should give him a strike. That's my opinion. I think we should see what Portland does without transit for a day or two. Just shut it down on the 1st of the month. Okay, 1st through the 3rd. Shut down the transit system and see what the economic impact of that is on all the businesses that won't be getting any money spent at them because the people can't get there. It's just so much crap that they're just putting this on us. It really is. It's unsustainable. It's unsustainable. Yeah, what's unsustainable is the nature of the healthcare system, but just because that's unsustainable, don't blame us for it. Okay, we're not to blame. And we're not the highest, best benefits in the country. That's a downright, bald-faced lie. And that's the truth of it. That's a bald-faced lie.